You mind telling me why you're out here so late?
I just finished training. Is there a problem, officer?
Just asking a few questions.
I'm asking you again, where is he? You need to cooperate with me right now. We know you were there.
The moment the officer's flashlight hit her face, Maya felt the sidewalk tilt beneath her. She had only stepped out of the gym for fresh air, bare hands, gym bag, sweat still cooling on her shoulders, when the cruiser rolled up slow like a wolf circling prey. Officer Riggs didn't bother with a greeting. He just looked her up and down, lips already curled. The street was quiet except for the buzzing street lamp above them and the thump of bass leaking from the gym door behind her. Maya swallowed. She could smell his cologne, sharp chemical, cutting through the damp night air. ID, he said. Not a question. A strike. Maya handed it over, her fingers steady but her chest tightening. She'd been stopped before, but something in his eyes, cold hungry, made her skin prickle. Riggs studied the card, then laughed under his breath. You're smaller than I expected. All that training still looks weak to me. The word cracked through her like a whip. Weak. Her hand twitched at her side, years of discipline locking her muscles in place. She kept her voice calm. Officer, is there a reason? Reason as I gave you one, he said, stepping closer. Invading the space she fought every day to protect. And if you don't like it, you can come with me. The gym door opened behind her. Someone shouting her name. Riggs turned sharply, hand drifting toward his belt. Maya froze, breath catching, and then the flashlight beam snapped upward, blinding, as everything spiraled into a moment she couldn't escape. Maya's breath still carried the burn of the last training round when she stepped out of the gym, letting the cool night air wash over her skin. The street was quiet, the kind of late-hour calm that made every sound sharper. The buzzing street lamp overhead, the clink of weights from inside, the faint echo of someone laughing in the back room. She adjusted her gym bag on her shoulder, stretching her neck after hours of drills. Her muscles throbbed, but in a satisfying way. Training was the one place where everything made sense. Then the police cruiser rolled to a slow, predatory stop. She didn't see it approach. She only heard the engine settle, low and deliberate, before the spotlight snapped on. The beam cut across the street, landing on her chest, then her face. Maya blinked, raising a hand to shield her eyes. Hey, a voice barked. You, stop right there. Officer Riggs emerged, tall, broad, chin jutting forward like he expected the world to bow to it. His boots hit the pavement hard. There was no reason for him to be here. No calls, no noise, no commotion. Just her. Maya kept her voice steady. Is there a problem, officer? Didn't say talk, he said. He flicked his flashlight up under her chin, angling her face like something to inspect. ID. She swallowed irritation. It's in my bag. Then take it out, slowly. His tone cut more than the words. Maya unzipped the bag carefully, the nylon rasping against her shaking breath. She handed him the card. Riggs didn't look at it first. He looked at her, long and mocking, as though searching for a flaw he could name. Finally he smirked. Maya Reed, you train in there? Yes. You fight? A little. I'm learning. He stepped closer, his shadow swallowing hers. Still looks weak to me. Her heart stuttered. The word landed deep, far deeper than he could possibly know. She straightened her back, keeping her eyes level. Officer, why am I being stopped? Riggs held her ID up to the light. Suspicious behavior. I stepped out of gym. He shrugged. Suspicious enough. The gym door cracked open behind her. Her coach Lena leaned out, towel slung over her shoulder. Maya, what's going on? Riggs turned sharply, glaring. Back inside. This doesn't involve you. Lena didn't move. It does when you're harassing one of my fighters. Riggs' hand drifted toward his belt, thumb brushing the holster. Didn't ask for commentary. Maya raised her hands, slightly. Lena, it's fine. It's not. Lena shot back. You're not doing anything wrong. Riggs snapped. Another word and you're interfering with an officer. Maya felt shame coil in her stomach. Shame for being helpless, for letting this unfold, for seeing her coach's fear mirror her own. She spoke softly. Please, Lena, just go. After a long, burning moment, Lena stepped back inside, but the door stayed cracked, a sliver of warm gym light spilling out behind Maya. Riggs chuckled. Cute little audience you've got. He tossed her ID back, careless. She barely caught it. Now, bag open. Her breath caught. For what reason? Because I said so. That's not. He stepped in, chest nearly brushing hers. Are you refusing a lawful order? Maya's jaw clenched, her pulse pounding in her throat. No, she whispered. She opened the bag. Hand wraps, gloves, water bottle, spare shirt. Nothing else. Riggs poked through with 2 fingers, lifting a glove like it was something filthy. Pathetic, he muttered. All this training and you still look fragile. Maya inhaled sharply. I'm going home, officer. No, you're not. He slammed the bag shut and leaned in, voice dropping. Not until I decide you can. Her hands balled into fists, not to strike, but to stop them from trembling. You're crossing a line. Riggs grinned. What are you going to do? Hit me? He spread his arms mockingly. Yeah, didn't think so. A small crowd had gathered. 2 teenagers, a man walking his dog, a woman waiting at the bus stop. They stared but didn't speak. Not one pulled out a phone. Maya forced her voice steady. I'm leaving. She walked around him, slow, deliberate. The street stretched long and empty ahead. Her car was parked a block down. She kept her gaze straight, refusing to look back even when she felt his eyes drilling into her spine. Her keys shook in her hand as she unlocked the car. She slid in, locked the doors, exhaled shakily. Headlights flared behind her. Red and blue strobes filled the rearview mirror. No, she whispered. The siren chirped once, short, sharp, triumphant. Officer Riggs stepped out of cruiser again. And this time, he wasn't pretending it was a routine stop. Maya didn't sleep. She drifted in and out, startled by every passing car, every flick of headlights across her window. Her chest stayed tight, as if the memory of Riggs' flashlight were still pressed against her skin. When morning finally broke, she forced herself out of bed, showered, and dressed with a heavy, deliberate calm. She had promised herself one thing. She wouldn't let last night fade into silence. The precinct lobby was colder than she expected. White tiles, humming lights, the faint smell of burnt coffee. A receptionist behind bulletproof glass barely glanced up. Reason for visit? He muttered. I need to file a complaint against an officer. That got his attention. He lifted an eyebrow, finally looking at her. Which officer? Maya took a slow breath. Officer Riggs. A heartbeat of silence. The man's demeanor shifted, just enough to be noticeable. Riggs, he repeated, voice flattening out. Right. You'll need to wait. She frowned. Wait for who? Just wait, he said, already turning back to his computer. Maya sat in the thin plastic chair. The seconds dragged. People walked in and out. Officers passed her without acknowledgement. Her knee bounced uncontrollably. She pressed a hand against it, but the shaking didn't stop. After 20 minutes, a sergeant emerged from a side door, expression neutral to the point of being blank. You're the one asking about Riggs? Yes, Maya said, standing. He gestured stiffly. Follow me. She expected an office. Instead, he led her to a small, windowless interview room. Metal table, 2 chairs, a camera pointed directly at the seat he motioned her into. Maya felt her throat tighten. Sergeant, what is this for? It's standard, he said. You want to file a complaint. We document everything. She sat, palms damp. The sergeant remained standing. Explain what happened. I was stopped last night outside my gym. There was no cause. He mocked me. Searched my bag without reason. Followed me when I left. The sergeant held up a hand. Slow down. Maya inhaled sharply. He called me weak. He kept stepping closer like he wanted me to react. Then he pulled me over again for no reason. Did he arrest you? No. Did he issue a citation? No. The sergeant scratched something on a clipboard. No physical contact? No, Maya said, growing frustrated. but he targeted me. There was no justification for the stop. He didn't respond. He just wrote. Maya leaned forward. This isn't the first time he's done something like this, is it? His pen froze for a split second. Microsecond hesitation. But she saw it. That's not relevant, he said quietly. It is relevant, she insisted. Does he have complaints on record? I can't discuss internal matters. Because there are complaints, right? Her voice shook. And they disappear? The sergeant's eyes finally lifted to hers. There was something in his expression, not sympathy exactly, but a tired, guarded warning. Miss Reed, I suggest you choose your words carefully. If you want this complaint processed, it needs to stay professional. She stared back. Professional? I was humiliated on a sidewalk by someone wearing your badge. His jaw tensed. I'm not saying you're lying, but you're not saying I'm telling the truth either. He didn't deny it. Maya's voice softened. I just want to be safe. That's all. The sergeant sighed and closed the clipboard. Your statement will be reviewed. By who? Internal Affairs. When? As soon as they're available. So soon? Ms. Reed, he said gently, these things take time. Her heart sank. That phrase, always that phrase. Time was where thousands of complaints went to die. The sergeant opened the door. A quiet dismissal. Maya stepped out into the hallway, pulse hammering. She felt the weight of cameras, uniforms, silence. The whole building seemed designed to make her feel small. As she passed the front desk, one officer, young, jittery, leaned in slightly. Hey, he whispered. Be careful. She turned. What? He flicked his eyes toward a security camera, then back to her. Just watch yourself. Riggs doesn't like people making noise. Maya's stomach twisted. Has he done this before? The young officer didn't blink. Complaints disappear, he murmured. Just remember I said that. Before she could ask more, he straightened as a supervisor walked by. Outside, the sun felt too bright, the air suddenly too thin. She walked her car slowly, each step heavy with disbelief and anger. She expected justice. Instead, she'd walked into a wall of quiet resistance. She sat in the driver's seat, gripping the wheel. She wasn't afraid to fight, in a ring, on a mat, in any controlled space. But this wasn't a match. She didn't know the rules, didn't know who the judge was, didn't know who could decide her fate with a single line in a report. Her phone buzzed. A known number. Maya hesitated, breath held tight. She answered. A pause, a breath, then his voice. Calm, almost amused. Didn't expect you to run crying to my station. Her blood ran cold. Riggs, she whispered. You think filing a complaint's going to help you? He asked, voice soaked in condescension. Cute. Maya's pulse roared in her ears. Stop calling me. I'll call when I want, he said. And you're going to learn something real soon, Maya Reed. She stared through the windshield, the world tilting again. What? She forced out. That in this city? His voice dropped, low and razor-sharp. Weak people get reminded of it. The line clicked dead. Maya sat frozen, the phone still pressed to her ear, as the weight of his words settled like ice in her chest. And for the first time since last night, she felt something worse than anger. She felt truly unsafe. Maya kept checking over her shoulder on the walk from her car to her apartment, half expecting Riggs' cruiser to slide up behind her again. Nothing happened that night. No calls, no knocks, no headlights sweeping across her window. But the silence didn't calm her. It sharpened her anxiety until it hummed under her skin. By the next afternoon, the tension was still there, an invisible weight pressing against her throat. She dressed for work, packed her lunch, and drove to the community center where she coordinated youth fitness programs. Usually the place buzzed with noise and warmth. Kids laughing, sneakers squeaking across the gym floor, coaches shouting instructions. But today, even that felt dimmed. Her co-worker, James, noticed immediately as she walked in. Yo, Maya, you look wiped. You good. She forced a smile. Late night. He tilted his head, unconvinced. Anything you wanna? The automatic doors slid open behind her. A police cruiser idled across the street, engine running. Lights off, a familiar silhouette behind the wheel. James followed her gaze. Is that? Yeah, she whispered. James stiffened. Is he here for something? He's here for me. Riggs didn't get out. He just stared through the windshield, unmoving, watching. James exhaled sharply. You want to call someone? No, Maya said quickly. If I react, he wins. James lowered his voice. Maya, this is harassment. I know. Her fingers tightened around her water bottle. Just let me handle today. Riggs stayed parked for 30 minutes, staring. Then he drove off casually, like he had simply taken in the morning scenery. Maya tried to focus on work, but she caught herself scanning every window. Every time a kid screamed with excitement, her shoulders jumped. Every time a door closed too loudly, her pulse rattled. During lunch, she stepped outside to breathe. Her phone buzzed. Her coach, Lena. You didn't come to training this morning, Lena said. I got worried. Had a long night. You sound off. What's going on? Maya hesitated, then exhaled. He called me. Riggs. He called me at home. Lena's sharp inhale crackled over the line. I knew it. I knew he wouldn't stop. He's been around my job today. You need a lawyer, Maya. Immediately. I already filed a complaint. That's not enough. This is targeted. You can't fight this alone. Maya rubbed her forehead. I don't want my life to fall apart because of one man. Then don't let him tear it apart quietly, Lena said. If you don't push back, he'll keep going. Maya closed her eyes, breathing through the ache in her chest. I'll call someone. I promise. Good. And Maya? Yeah. You're not weak. Those words almost cracked something inside her. She returned to work, moving through the day like a shadow. When her shift finally ended, she stepped outside and froze. Riggs' cruiser wasn't there this time, but he was, leaning against a brick wall across the street, arms folded, watching her with the lazy confidence of someone untouchable. She tried walking past him, keeping her steps steady. Riggs pushed off the wall and matched her pace, just a few feet behind. You've been busy, he said casually, running around, telling stories. I'm going home, she said without turning. You think filing that complaint was smart? He asked. You think it'll go somewhere? Her jaw tightened. Leave me alone. No, he said simply. See, you made this personal. Maya spun around, unable to hold it in. I didn't make anything personal. You stopped me without cause. You humiliated me. Riggs smirked. You walked out of your little gym thinking you were someone. I reminded you you're not. Is this what you do? Maya asked. Follow people? Intimidate them until they stop speaking? His eyes gleamed. You're learning. She stepped back, contact avoided but tension thick. Stay away from me. Riggs leaned forward slightly. Make me? Her breath stuttered. I'm warning you. What? He said softly. You gonna fight me? Show me what that training's worth. Her hands trembled, not with fear this time, but restrained fury. I'm done talking to you. She turned and walked to her car as calmly as she could manage. Riggs laughed, low and quiet. See you around, Reed. She drove off with shaking arms, gripping the wheel so tightly her knuckles whitened. But his voice stayed in her ears. You made this personal. When she got home, she barely had time to take off her shoes before her phone buzzed again, this time from her workplace's HR department. Maya Reed, a clipped voice said. Yes. We received an anonymous report expressing concern about your professional conduct and anger issues. We'll need to schedule a review. Her stomach dropped. What? Anger issues? That's not who said that. It was anonymous. The voice said, we're obligated to follow up. Maya leaned against the wall, heart pounding. I haven't had any issues with anyone. Nevertheless, the voice continued. We'll talk next week. The call ended. She slid down the wall until she was sitting on the floor, knees pulled to her chest. Her breath came shallow and fast. Riggs was reaching into her life, not just her safety, her reputation. her job, her stability. Her phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. Should have stayed quiet. She dropped the phone onto the carpet, a cold wave rushing through her. He wasn't just harassing her. He was dismantling her life piece by piece. And the worst part? No one seemed willing to stop him. Maya woke to her phone, vibrating nonstop. Dozens of alerts lit the screen. Missed calls, messages, notifications stacked so tightly she couldn't see the wallpaper behind them. Her heart lurched. For a second, she thought Riggs had escalated again. Then she saw the first headline. Local officer mocks woman during late-night stop. Video goes viral. Her breath caught. She tapped the link with trembling fingers. It wasn't just a headline. It was her, standing outside the gym, shoulders tense, hands raised slightly. Riggs stepping closer, smirking. His voice sharp even in poor audio. Still looks weak to me. The comment section exploded with outrage, arguments, disbelief. Someone had filmed the entire encounter. Every second of humiliation was now public. Maya's stomach nodded. Oh no. Her phone rang. Lena. Maya, you saw it? Lena burst out. Please tell me you saw it. I'm looking at it now. This is good, Lena said. People are paying attention. This can't be buried anymore. Maya swallowed. It doesn't feel good. It feels exposed. You didn't do anything wrong. Everyone's watching me, Maya whispered. Lena softened. Come to the gym. We'll talk. But Maya didn't get that far. As soon as she stepped outside her apartment building, a reporter rushed forward, microphone outstretched. Ms. Reed, do you believe Officer Riggs targeted you because of your race? She flinched. I'm not giving a statement. Another reporter slid, and beside the first, do you plan to pursue legal action? Cameras flashed. A third reporter called out. Why did he call you weak? Did he threaten you? Maya backed away, pulse thundering. Please stop. Ms. Reed, just one question. She darted to her car and locked the doors, chest heaving. Through the window, lenses and microphones hovered like vultures. She gripped the steering wheel until her hands hurt. The story hadn't just broken. It had exploded. She drove to the gym in weaving, shaky breaths. But even there, safety was gone. Reporters clustered outside, filming the entrance. A few members pointed at her as she slipped through the door. Inside, Lena approached immediately. Hey, breathe. Maya shook her head. I didn't want this. You didn't choose this, Lena said. He forced it. Maya paced, voice rising. But now people think I'm fighting a war. I never wanted to be a symbol. I just wanted to be left alone. Lena grabbed her shoulders gently. You're not a symbol. You're a person who was wronged. That's all. Before Maya could respond, Lena's partner, Devin, hurried over holding his phone. You need to see this. He pressed play. Officer Riggs stood in front of a local news station, uniform crisp, expression sincere in a way only a liar could manage. The video doesn't show the full context, he said. The woman appeared agitated and aggressive. My comment was taken out of context. I felt threatened. Threatened? Maya whispered. Riggs continued. I acted according to department protocol. I've served this city for 15 years without incident. Devin scoffed. Without getting caught, maybe. The reporter asked, So you deny any misconduct? Riggs nodded solemnly. Absolutely. Maya's chest tightened. He's lying, and people will believe him. Lena's jaw clenched. Not everyone. Not this time. But Maya wasn't convinced. The comments online had already turned into a battlefield. Some supporting her, others questioning her character, calling her overreactive or unstable. She saw the word attention seeker, race card, dramatic woman. Each one felt like a bruise forming beneath her skin. I can't handle this, she murmured. You are handling it, Lena replied. Maya shook her head. He's still out there, and now I've embarrassed him publicly. That makes him dangerous. Lena didn't deny it. Her phone rang again. Unknown number. She didn't answer. Then a text buzzed in. You like cameras? Let's see how much you like them when they're pointed your way. Maya felt her throat close. She showed the screen to Lena. Lena exhaled. Call the lawyer. Today. I know, Maya whispered. And you don't go anywhere alone, Lena added. Not until we know what comes next. Maya nodded, but her stomach twisted. What came next? More reporters? More threats? More lies twisted into truths by the people who wanted them to be? She drifted to the far corner of the gym, sinking onto a bench. The familiar hum of punching bags and footwork drills usually calmed her. Today the sounds floated past her like echoes, not grounding her at all. Devin sat beside her quietly. You look scared. I am scared. He nodded. Good. Fear means you know it's real, but it doesn't mean you're powerless. She didn't respond. She couldn't. Her mind was a storm of cameras, of comments, of Riggs' smirk, of the world twisting into something unrecognizable. Another alert buzzed. Another headline. Another clip. Her whole life, suddenly public property. Devin glanced at the screen, then at her. This is bigger than a single stop now. I know, she whispered, and that terrifies me. Outside, she heard a sudden rise in voices. Reporters again, shouting her name. Inside, the gym lights flickered from the press trucks crowding the block. Maya lowered her head into her hands. The story was out. The city was watching. And she no longer knew if that made her safer or put her in even greater danger. Maya had barely slept in 2 days. Noise followed her everywhere. Reporter voices, online comments, the echo of Riggs' words, the relentless buzzing of her phone. She silenced notifications, logged out of social media, even turned her phone face down at night. None of it stopped the feeling of being watched. She expected the pressure. She expected the backlash. But she didn't expect a courthouse envelope taped to her apartment door. It was thin, official-looking, too quiet. Her fingers trembled as she peeled it off and opened it. A legal notice. A countersuit. Officer Jonathan Riggs versus Maya Reed. Claim. Emotional distress, defamation, damage to professional reputation. Maya stared, numb. He's suing me, she whispered to the empty hallway. Inside her apartment, the walls suddenly felt too close. She dropped into a chair, heartbeat pounding in her ears. He wasn't just denying wrongdoing. He was flipping the narrative, making her the aggressor. Her phone rang. Lena. Maya, you okay? Lena asked. You sound weird. He's suing me. What? Riggs. He filed a countersuit. Emotional distress. Defamation. Maya let out a shaky laugh that didn't feel like hers. He's saying I ruined his life. Lena cursed under her breath. He's trying to scare you. That's all this is. I'm already scared, Lena. Another buzz. Another notification. Then another. And another. She finally picked up her phone. The internet was on fire. Officer Riggs files suit against alleged false accuser. Union backs officer in video controversy. My name is being destroyed. Claims officer. Each headline twisted her stomach tighter. Her doorbell rang. Maya flinched so hard she nearly dropped her phone. She peeked through the window. Reporters. Again. Maya, we're live right now. Do you have a comment on the lawsuit? Do you regret posting the video? It wasn't me, she shouted through the window. I didn't post anything. But they didn't care. Cameras stared back, unblinking, feeding. She closed the curtains and sagged onto the couch, buried in shadows. Her phone buzzed again. A text from a number she didn't recognize. Hope you like being famous. Another. Should have kept your mouth shut. Another. You brought this on yourself. Her breath quickened. Her chest tightened. She set the phone on the table as though it were burning her hand. Minutes later, her lawyer, Amira Tate, arrived. A tall, calm woman with sharp eyes and even sharper understanding of cases like this. Maya opened the door and stepped aside wordlessly. Amira walked in, closed the door behind her, and took a slow breath. I saw the countersuit. Sit down. Let's talk. Maya sank into the chair opposite her. Amira, he's destroying me. That's his goal, Amira replied, laying documents on the table. Riggs is leaning on the oldest strategy in the book, intimidation. Countersuits. Public framing. He wants to make you doubt your own experience. I don't doubt it, Maya whispered. I lived it. And that's why you'll win. Maya shook her head. People online think I'm unstable. They're calling me dramatic. They're saying I provoked him. Amira's voice remained steady. You don't need the whole world to believe you. You need evidence and consistency. And you have both. Maya stared at her hands. They were trembling. He's showing up at my job. He sent anonymous messages. He knows where I live. That's harassment. And I'll use it. Amira leaned forward. But Maya, I need you to understand. This will get worse before it gets better. Maya exhaled shakily. I can't afford worse. You can, Amira said, because you've already survived worse than you think. Maya didn't feel strong. She felt cornered. Later that evening, she forced herself to leave the house for air. Darkness wrapped the streets, and she stuck to well-lit areas out of instinct. Every parked car made her tense. She rounded the corner toward the courthouse district and froze. Riggs stood at the bottom of the courthouse steps, laughing with a group of union reps. Cameras flashed as he spoke, basking in attention. Maya ducked behind a pillar, but it was too late. He saw her. He excused himself from the group and walked toward her with deliberate, unhurried steps. Well, look who it is, he said, voice dripping with mock sympathy. Tough week. What do you want? Maya demanded, keeping her distance. Riggs shrugged. Just checking in on my accuser. Stop calling me that. Why? He sneered. That's what you are. A liar. A coward. Someone who couldn't handle being told the truth about herself. Her fists clenched. You humiliated me without cause. I enforced the law, he said flatly, and you twisted it into a sob story. You followed me. You parked outside my job. Coincidences, he said with a smirk. But go ahead. Tell people whatever you want. They're already eating it up. You won't get away with this. I already am, Riggs said softly. Look around. Who's standing with you right now? Maya swallowed hard, throat tight. No one, he said, because you're weak. The word hit harder than the first time. But this time, something inside her pushed back. I'm not weak, she whispered. Riggs leaned in. Prove it. Before she could respond, his union rep shouted for him to return. Riggs gave her one last satisfied smile and walked away without looking back. Maya stood still, heart pounding, breath shaking. His words clung to her like poison. Later, back at the gym, she stepped into the training ring alone. Sweat dripped down her temples. Her arms were heavy, muscles burning from hours of drills. But she kept going. Punch. Step. Breathe. Punch. Step. Breathe. Lena approached quietly. You're pushing too hard. I need to, Maya said, voice cracking. You're not fighting Riggs in here. No, Maya said, staring at her wrapped fists. I'm fighting myself. Lena knelt beside her. You're not weak. You're just scared. I hate that he knows that, Maya whispered. Lena put a hand on her shoulder. Then, don't let fear make your choices. Let the truth make them. Maya's breath steadied. She nodded slowly, eyes burning but determined. Outside the ring, her phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. But this time, she didn't look at it. She tightened her wraps, stood tall, and kept training, fighting for the one thing Riggs wanted to steal from her more than anything else, her sense of control. The community hearing was supposed to be neutral ground. Maya had believed that, hoped for it, until she walked into the echoing chamber and saw how many people already stared at her. Some curious, some skeptical, some quietly hostile. The panel sat at their long table, shuffling papers, adjusting microphones, trying to project authority that felt thin and brittle. Riggs stood at the opposite side of the room, flanked by union representatives. He looked polished, collected, confident, the kind of calm that came from knowing the system leaned in his direction. Maya sat beside her lawyer, Amira. Her hands shook beneath the table. Amira whispered, "Stay steady. Speak only when addressed. Let him overplay his hand." Maya nodded, though her pulse thundered. The moderator cleared his throat. We're here to discuss the allegations brought forth by Maya Reed against Officer Jonathan Riggs. Both parties will be heard. Riggs stepped forward smoothly. Thank you, he said, voice warm, practiced. This situation has been blown far out of proportion. The video circulating online shows only fragments. Ms. Reed was agitated and confrontational. I feared for my safety. Maya almost choked. Confrontational? She had barely spoken. Riggs continued, I followed procedure. I attempted to de-escalate. Unfortunately, her behavior made that difficult. Whispers rippled through the audience. Maya clenched her teeth. He's lying to their faces, and they're listening. The moderator turned to her. Ms. Reed, your response? She stood slowly, feeling dozens of eyes follow the movement. I wasn't agitated, she said. I was confused, scared. He stopped me without cause. He mocked me. He searched my things. He followed me after I left. That's not procedure. Riggs chuckled under his breath. One panelist, an older man with stiff posture, leaned forward. Ms. Reed, do you have proof he followed you? Maya hesitated. He was behind me when I drove off. He pulled me over again. He keeps showing up at my workplace. Do you have recordings? No. The panelist nodded, unimpressed. Maya felt her throat close. It didn't seem to matter what she said. Riggs stepped forward again. My presence near her workplace is coincidence. I patrol that area. Maya snapped. You sat in your cruiser staring at me for 30 minutes. Gasps. The moderator raised a hand. Please remain professional. Maya swallowed hard. Sorry. Riggs smiled faintly, the kind of smile that said he enjoyed every second of this. He continued calmly. Ms. Reed is projecting fear where none exists. She's unstable, overwhelmed, and looking for someone to blame. Maya's chest tightened. Unstable, she echoed. He didn't even look at her. The pressures of being in the public, I can create emotional exaggeration. Her accusations are damaging my reputation and my family. Maya's hands curled into fists. She felt heat rush to her face. You're the one harassing me. You're the one abusing your position. Amira touched her arm lightly. Maya, careful. The panel whispered among themselves. The older man finally said, based on available evidence, we cannot determine misconduct at this time. The investigation will continue. But both parties are encouraged to remain civil. Remain civil. Maya almost laughed. A bitter, hopeless sound caught in her throat instead. The hearing ended. Chairs scraped. People murmured. Riggs approached slowly, weaving through the dispersing crowd with predatory ease. Amira muttered, ignore him. Maya tried. She really tried. But he stepped directly into her path, blocking her from leaving the aisle. Rough day, Reed, he murmured, voice smooth as oil. Tough room. Maya stared at him. You lied. Everyone lies, he said. Some of us are just better at it. You won't get away with this. I already have, he whispered. You think a panel's going to take your word over mine? You're one complaint in a long line of noise. I'm the badge they know. Maya's breath trembled. You can't intimidate me forever. I don't have to. He leaned closer, so close she felt his breath on her cheek. Eventually, you'll break on your own. Her pulse roared. Her fist tightened. He stepped back, satisfied. Enjoy the spotlight while it lasts. He started to walk away, but a young officer waiting near the door hesitated, eyes darting between them. Fresh-faced, nervous, hands fidgeting with a USB drive in his pocket. As Maya passed him, he leaned toward her, voice barely above a whisper. Ms. Reed, wait. She paused. He swallowed hard. You can hear this from me. What? She asked quietly. He pressed something cold into her palm. A USB drive. Maya frowned. What is this? Proof, he whispered, eyes wide with fear. But you can't say my name. Ever. Maya's breath caught. The officer stepped back quickly, pretending nothing had happened. Riggs didn't notice, too busy laughing with his union rep. Amira joined her, confused. What's that? Maya stared down at the tiny object in her hand. The thing Riggs never expected her to have. Something, Maya whispered, voice steadying with strange new resolve. Something that might finally turn this around. Maya sat across from Amira in the dim light of her apartment, the USB drive resting between them like something radioactive. Neither of them touched it for a long moment. The hum of the refrigerator was the only sound in the room. Amira exhaled slowly. We need to see what's on it. Maya nodded, throat tight. If that officer risks his career, it has to matter. Amira plugged the drive into her laptop. Maya held her breath as photos appeared, unlabeled, plain, almost too ordinary. Amira clicked the first. Dashcam videos. Not one. Dozens. Clips of Riggs during traffic stops. His voice sharp, hostile. Him mocking drivers. Threatening them. Cutting out mid-stop. Evidence of manually disabled recordings. Dates spanning years. Maya clamped a hand over her mouth. Oh my God! Amira opened a second folder. Scanned documents, complaint forms marked closed or insufficient evidence. Many had handwritten notes. Complainant unreliable. Dismissed. Officer Riggs consistent with policy. But the patterns were unmistakable. Same behaviors. Same intimidation. Same unchecked power. Maya whispered, they buried all of it. Amira nodded grimly. This is institutional protection, and he's been shielded for years. Maya felt sick. Those people, those names, did they all go through what I went through? Some worse. Amira said quietly, look at this. She opened a file containing internal emails. Supervisors discussing keeping Riggs stable, avoiding escalation, and controlling optics. They weren't monitoring him to protect citizens. They were protecting themselves. Maya leaned back, overwhelmed. This is bigger than him. It usually is, Amira said, but this is enough to force the city to look. Maya hugged her arms around herself. But if we use this, that officer, the one who gave it to me, he'll get fired. Or worse. Amira studied her carefully. You're allowed to care. But systemic change has a cost. People inside the system rarely speak up. When they do, it's for a reason. Maya closed her eyes, hearing the rookie's shaky whisper. You didn't hear this from me. He trusted me, she murmured. He trusted the truth more, Amira replied. They worked through the night, organizing files, time-stamping dashcam inconsistencies, highlighting complaint patterns. Amira's legal mind moved fast, piecing together a narrative neither could ignore. By dawn, the case had transformed from Maya's war against Riggs into something far greater. This, Amira said, gesturing to the mountain of evidence, is impossible for internal affairs to ignore, and the media will tear it open the second they see the scale. Maya stared at the folders. So what happens next? We submit it to the city's legal office. They can't bury a USB they didn't know existed. And if they try, we release it publicly with redactions. Maya felt a flicker of something unfamiliar. Hope. Fragile, but real. Still, fear tugged at her chest. He'll know it came from inside. He'll figure out who helped. Amira folded her hands. You cannot protect everyone, Maya. Not from him, but you can protect your truth. Maya nodded, even though her stomach twisted. Later that afternoon, they walked together into the city legal department. Tall stone building, echoing halls, cold fluorescent lights. As they approached the receptionist, Maya felt eyes on her again, the same scrutiny she had felt at the precinct. Amira stepped forward. We have evidence for review relating to Officer Riggs and multiple suppressed complaints. It must be logged immediately. The receptionist blinked, confused, then called a supervisor. Within minutes, a legal investigator ushered them into a conference room. Maya watched as Amira laid out the USB, the printed summaries, the dashcam timestamps. The investigator's eyes widened. Where did you get all this? Amira's tone was calm, assertive, sources confidential. What matters is that the city is now in possession of proof of repeated misconduct and internal suppression. The investigator exhaled, stunned. This is going to cause a storm. Maya found her voice. Good. Maybe it's time. As they left the building, Maya felt the world shift. The fear was still there. It lived in her bones now, but something else had settled beside it. Resolve. She walked down the courthouse steps with her shoulders straighter. He's not going to see this coming. Amira nodded. No. And when he realizes the city can't shield him anymore, he'll panic. Maya glanced up at the sky. Gray clouds gathering, heavy with rain. Then let it fall, she said quietly. And for the first time in days, her hands didn't tremble. News never breaks quietly. It cracks open like thunder, fast, loud, impossible to ignore. 2 days after Maya and Amira submitted the evidence, the first leak hit social media. A local journalist tweeted a vague message about internal misconduct files. Within hours, another posted screenshots of anonymized complaint logs. Then came the dashcam timestamps, cropped, blurred, but damning. By noon, the city roared. Every news outlet ran a version of the same headline. Evidence suggests years of misconduct by Officer Riggs. Maya watched from her living room, heart pounding. Images of Riggs appeared on the screen. Him at ceremonies, him at traffic stops, him at the community hearing. The reporter spoke with growing shock. This suggests a systematic failure. These complaints were never acted upon. Someone inside the department withheld information. Maya didn't smile. She didn't feel triumph. Only a heavy, quiet ache spreading through her chest. Amira texted. This is it. Momentum is shifting. But shifting didn't mean safe. By late afternoon, Riggs held a press conference on the steps of the precinct. Maya watched it live. He looked less polished now. Tension in his jaw. Hair slightly out of place. Cameras flashed wildly as he stepped up to the microphone. These accusations are false, he barked. Fabricated. I have served the city with integrity. This supposed evidence is being twisted to ruin me. His voice was louder than before, bordering on frantic. A reporter shouted, What about the deleted dashcam files? Riggs snapped, Malfunction. What about the missing complaint follow-ups? Administrative backlog. The reporters pressed in, more aggressive now. Did you intimidate Ms. Reed? Were you involved in document suppression? Are you threatening legal retaliation against whistleblowers? Riggs' composure cracked. His face reddened. This is a witch hunt. The department knows I'm clean. A voice cut him off. Calm, firm, resonating across the microphones. Actually, that's what we're here to address. Internal Affairs stepped forward. 2 officers in suits, badges displayed clearly. The crowd fell silent. Riggs froze. One IA officer spoke. Officer Jonathan Riggs, you are placed on immediate administrative suspension pending a full investigation into misconduct, evidence tampering, and failure to comply with department protocol. The crowd exploded. Reporters shouted over one another. Cameras whipped toward Riggs. He stammered. You can't do this publicly. This is a mistake. This is political. But IA's second officer stepped closer. You will surrender your badge and weapon. Riggs backed away, shaking his head. No, this is ridiculous. Badge, the officer repeated. Maya felt the air leave her lungs as she watched Riggs' hand tremble. Slowly, reluctantly, he pulled the badge from his chest. For the first time, he looked small, cornered, outnumbered. A reporter shouted, Officer Riggs, do you deny the evidence? He snapped his fake. Another yelled. Dozens of complaints were suppressed. Were you aware? Riggs shouted, Shut up. His own union reps stepped back from him. IA moved in. Officer Riggs, you are under investigation for possible falsification of reports and interference with evidence. Riggs' face twisted. Rage, disbelief, humiliation fighting across his features. You're not doing this. You're not doing this to me. But they were. They escorted him down the steps, cameras following every motion. He didn't look like a man of authority anymore. He looked like someone watching his world collapse under his feet. Maya's hands trembled as she turned off the TV. She wasn't celebrating. She wasn't relieved. She was exhausted, down to her bones. Riggs losing his badge didn't erase what he'd done. It didn't return her sleep. It didn't silence the fear that now lived quietly inside her. But something had shifted. For the first time, she felt the weight of his power loosen. Later that evening, the city released an official statement confirming the investigation. Lawyers buzzed. Activists marched. News stations broadcast round-the-clock coverage. Maya stayed inside, sitting near her window, watching the streetlights flicker in the wind. Her phone lit up with messages. Support, outrage, gratitude, questions. But one message stood out. Unknown number. She hesitated before opening it. It wasn't a threat. Just 2 words. Thank you. Maybe the rookie officer. Maybe someone else he'd hurt. Maya leaned her head back against the wall and exhaled. Slowly, shakily. Riggs wasn't gone yet. But the system that protected him had finally cracked. And she wasn't standing alone anymore. The city moved on before Maya did. Headlines shifted. Protests quieted. New scandals replaced old ones. The investigation into Riggs continued publicly, loudly, relentlessly, but life outside her window returned to its usual rhythm. Cars passed. Kids walked to school. Neighbors watered plants. Everything seemed normal, but inside her apartment, Maya still felt the echo of every siren that passed, every sudden knock, every flick of shadow in the hallway. Trauma didn't leave when the cameras did. One morning, she forced herself to return to work. The community center hallways smelled like rubber mats and disinfectant. Familiar scents that should have comforted her, but each echoing footstep made her shoulders tense. James spotted her from across the lobby. "Maya, you're back." She nodded weakly, trying to, one step at a time. He studied her carefully. "People missed you. I miss being here." She paused. "But everything feels different now." James hesitated before saying, "That's normal. You went through hell." She offered a small, tired smile. "Still feels like I'm there sometimes." Throughout the day, she moved slowly, deliberately. When kids asked if she'd been sick, she simply told them she needed rest. She didn't want them carrying her story. They deserved to stay innocent a little longer. But by late afternoon, a sharp noise, someone dropping a metal water bottle, made her flinch so violently that the kids stared. She excused herself, slipping into an empty storage room, breathing hard. Her hands shook uncontrollably. "He's gone," she told herself. "He's suspended. He's being investigated. He's not here." But her body didn't believe it. That night, she returned to the gym, hoping it would ground her. The familiar echo of gloves hitting bags, the rhythmic thud of footwork. It should have felt like home. Instead, the space felt too loud, too bright, too exposed. Lena approached gently. "You okay?" Maya managed a nod. "Trying." Lena motioned her toward the empty ring. "Come sit." Maya climbed in, sitting cross-legged on the mat. The gym lights cast a soft glow around them. The world outside felt far away. Lena sat beside her. "You're carrying a lot." Maya looked down at her hands. "I thought once he lost his badge, I'd feel better. And I don't." Her voice cracked. "I feel like pieces of me are still stuck in those nights. The stops, the calls, the threats. It's like my body won't forget." Lena nodded. "That's how trauma works." Maya swallowed. "Everyone keeps saying I'm brave, but I never felt brave. I felt scared every second." "Bravery doesn't mean you weren't afraid," Lena said. "It means you moved through fear anyway." Maya blinked, surprised by the warmth of those words. "And the cost?" she whispered. "Because it cost me. It still is." "Yes," Lena said quietly. "Justice always costs something, but so does silence." The truth of that hit Maya deep. Lena continued, "You change things, not just for yourself, for whoever comes after. And even if that change is slow, it started because you didn't give up." Maya's breath trembled. "I didn't want to change the world. I just wanted to feel human. And you are." Lena placed a hand on her shoulder. "What you're feeling, fear, exhaustion, anger, that's human. Healing isn't loud. Sometimes it's just breathing." Maya looked around the ring, the place where she trained, bled, pushed herself, rebuilt herself again and again. "Can I be strong again?" she asked softly. "You never stop being strong." Maya stood slowly. The mat under her feet felt solid for the first time in weeks. Lena stepped back, giving her space. Maya lifted her hands, not to fight, but to center herself, breathing in, breathing out. The gym sound softened. Her heartbeat steadied. She threw a slow, controlled punch into the air. Then another. Her body remembered the rhythm, the discipline, the control she'd almost lost. She wasn't fighting Riggs now. She was fighting the shadows he left behind. Punch. Step. Breathe. Punch. Step. Breathe. Her movements grew surer, stronger, more grounded. When she finally stopped, sweat beaded at her temples. Her chest rose and fell steadily. Lena watched her with quiet pride. "You're coming back to yourself," Lena said. Maya wiped her brow. "I think I'm ready to start healing." Outside, the city lights glowed faintly through the gym windows. Inside the ring, for the first time in a long time, Maya felt something settle inside her. Not fear, not anger, but the slow, steady return of herself.